and Merry fucking Christmas, you filthy animals. Big win, ugly win. But listen, I got what I wanted tonight. A solid performance defensively, hard to break down, not conceding gilt-edged chances. And I, for one, I stand on it. I've got to credit the lads tonight. I have so often questioned the mentality of this group of players. But tonight, the fight, the grit, the togetherness was astounding. We had injuries everywhere, a stricken squad, more injuries in the game with Mount, potentially even with Lisandro Martinez. But, we had a back against the wall, but we dug in and we battled for every inch. And you will hear people today go, Terry, you say they don't have that mentality. They don't show it regularly enough. Tonight is the standard. I want that every minute of every game, every week. That's it. Point blank. The effort levels, the mentality levels should be there. That was brilliant. Very, very, very impressed with that performance tonight. I'm going to shout out a couple of geezers. First of all, Aiden Heaven. That is why we trust fucking youth at the biggest and best football club in England. A bad game against Bournemouth. Brilliant in the last two matches. But tonight, he was a lion. Tonight, he was colossal. Look at the size and the power and experience of that Newcastle attack. They didn't get... And a man was Gandalf the White. You shall not pass. Then get fucking round him once. And he's a baby. What a performance from that young man. Day of the Drogu. Drogu tonight. Great new signing that we've got early. I've never seen him before. I don't know. Have you guys seen Patrick Drogu in the United shirt? Why hasn't he played before? Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. I really rated what he did tonight. I thought he was fantastic. I was very, very happy. I mean, we'll get into the goal in a minute because it will get more praise. Lisandro Martinez tonight, I wanted him back at centre-back. Yoro's been going through a tough time, and I actually didn't think was that great when he came on. Some heavy touches. He got stripped quite easily. And look, he'll find his feet again, Yoro. There's great talent. But I wanted Lisandro at the back to help orchestrate, and I thought he was just amazing. I didn't like him coming off in the last few minutes. I didn't like any of the substitutions today, if I'm honest. However, we didn't concede. We still didn't concede the gilt-edged chances. So they were the right decisions. We just didn't understand them. But I thought Lisandro Martinez tonight was absolutely brilliant. I thought Lemon's in goal, out of this world. A little bit of a slip up at the end where he kind of drops the ball. But there was a couple of very high claims at the back late on. And as a United fan, we haven't had goalkeepers. We haven't had players that have been doing that for a long time. And from my point of view, that was fantastic. Who else did that? I actually thought Cunha and Mount were very good in the first half. I was frustrated that Mount went off. I haven't heard any official news on that, so I hope he isn't injured, but he does look like he's picked up another one. And there might be some players that you guys want to speak about, and we'll go through that in the live chat. But they were my standout individuals. I want to say congratulations again to Fletcher. We had Fredrickson that came on, who's not a debutant, but a young player. They stepped in and did their absolute best. There's no doubt about it. I actually thought Šeško wasn't bad tonight. I felt that, he first early in the game, he had a chance where he could have turned and done better from a Drogu cross. Didn't do too well there. Nearly scored just before he came off. I wouldn't have taken him off personally. I might have brought Xerxes on and put him a little deeper, but I would have left Šeško on with a little bit more speed later in the game. Thought he played okay. But overall, considering tonight, and listen, we don't have a big squad. We don't have a great squad. We've got an average squad. I don't change my mind on that. But you know what? Bruno out. Mount going off at half-time. De Ligt out. We have Maguire out. Ahmad, Maz, and Mbumo are at AFCON. There's somebody else I'm forgetting about who eludes my mind. They shouldn't, but they have. 7 to 8 players out of the team tonight. And they are all, by the way, all players that pretty much start when fit. So to have all of them missing, playing a team like Newcastle, I was worried because you saw it in the game. Newcastle do have more speed, they have more power, they have more pace than we do. And we can't match them on that. What we had to do tonight was work harder. What we had to do tonight was cover every blade of grass. And I want to say one thing. The commentators were annoying me. I don't know what commentators you had around the world, but here we had Gary Neville and fuck knows, can't remember his name. Very famous commentator. Him. Yeah, the famous guy. Is it Jury? Anyway, I don't care. And they were annoying me. I can't believe Newcastle haven't scored. I think they'll be kicking themselves that Newcastle haven't scored. They had a speculative effort from Hall. They hit the crossbar. Very good shot. They created one big chance in the whole game. One big chance in the whole game. And some will argue they're better team. Look, they had 67% of the ball over the whole match. In the first half, we actually had more of it until we scored. But in the first half, they had 3 shots on goal, 1 on target. No big chances. We had 6 shots, 3 on target. Yes, that goal wasn't a big chance. It was an absolute thunderbolt from Drogu, from the gods, from the heavens. Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. Christ is King. That's the kind of shot. You see it, you just go, Christ is King. That was that moment. But Newcastle didn't create anything. Yes, they got the ball into some dangerous areas. But do you know what? I'm going to do what Gary Neville wouldn't tonight. Aiden Heaven, every cross he cleared. Lissandro Martinez, every through ball, every cross he cleared. If the fullbacks got beaten, the cross came in. Lemaines every time. Bish, bash, bosh, catching the ball. If it was the other way round, we'd be praising the defending. It was fantastic. Lions, fantastic tonight. And do you know what? Of course, their ability shone through. But what I loved, and I didn't want to tweet it. I sent a voice note in one of our group chats, having a pop at Staffy, who said to me, "Oh, don't you?" I think he said, "Don't you dare say that these players have mentality issues ever again." I mean, it's a weird claim because we know they have got mentality issues at times. It's a bit like Ugarte, who played quite well today. It's a bit like saying Ugarte was good today. Don't you ever doubt him again? It's narrow-minded thinking. But in the voice note, I actually said I think we're playing well. And I think looking at the play, it looked like they were enjoying the defending. But I didn't want to tempt fate. I didn't want to tempt the football gods by saying it anywhere, privately, publicly, out loud. So I deleted the voice note. And I was like, I'm going to wait till the game's over. I didn't want to tweet it. I didn't want to. KJ and me normally speak in games. I saw his messages. I didn't even open them. I was like, I just want to hold on. I wanted to win today so badly. The next game is Wolves at home, which I do think we will win. And if we do, that is 10 points better than at this stage last season. We will guarantee to be 5th if we win our next game. It's a guarantee to be 5th if we won't. Actually, no, it depends what the other teams do. But there's a very good chance we go 5th. Could even go above Chelsea if they drop points in any of the next 2 games. But I love what we did tonight. But so much of it was up here. It was in the mind. It was in the nuts of the players. It was in the application, the way we applied ourselves. And we played better football against Villa at times. We played better football at large parts against Bournemouth. But what I didn't see in those games was the grit, the determination, the mentality, the fight, the hunger to win the game, to defend well. And yes, they had lots of the ball and they broke our lines at times. But one big chance in the entire match. More of the same, please. For Newcastle to have that much of the ball and that much control of things and that much momentum in the game, but to only create like 1.18 XG, 1.18, that for me is great. We've had games where we've had 70% of the ball and only conceded 3 or 4 shots, but conceded 2.5 XG, which means you're conceding big gilt-edged chances. And that for me is massive. I've been asking for it in the last few games, so I'm praising it big today. My feet, though, still firmly on the ground. Happy with the change of formation, which I haven't touched on yet. Very, very happy with the change of formation. Very, very happy the manager's done it. Again, I thought the punditry on that was disgusting. The lies on it are disgusting.
Yeah, hey guys. I don't know what's happened here. Clearly, there's Terry must have had a power cut. Terry must have something went wrong for Terry. But I am here. I am here. I thought it was just me. I actually thought it was just me, but no, it wasn't. It was. It looks like it's been Terry. Hope you all are doing well. Everybody, yo, that was a big win. Absolutely massive win for Man United today. And Terry was talking about the mentality of the players. Terry was talking about how we fought through. And bro, I was stressed, absolutely stressed, absolutely stressed at that game. But we made it through. We made it through. The changes that Amarin made stressed me. He didn't feel me confidence, but the players made it through. It's also Terry what was, Terry was saying about the chances created for Newcastle. They they got into dangerous areas, but they couldn't make anything of it. Aiden Heaven, he was giving Aiden Heaven a lot of applause today, and he should do because he was just there every single point. Um, he was there every single point, just blocking everything. He was just there. That's probably his best performance in a Manchester United shirt, hands down, 100%. Hands down, 100% the best Man United performance we've seen from him. And then you've got things like Drogu playing well, Lamens playing well. Overall, it was defensively, it was one of Man United's best defensive displays in a while. And I've got some things that I want to get off my chest. Hopefully, Terry will come back in time for that. But yeah, it was a crazy game. I'm just going to do quickly change the background here because I haven't got Terry's set up yet. We need to sort that out. So I'm just gonna do this. Yep, that would do. You know what I mean? This will do for now. So yes, guys. We've got some super chats here as well to go through. Hopefully Terry comes back soon. So we've got here. Dorgy was phenomenal, and it feels like we finally found the right position for Ugarte. He completely suffocated Newcastle's midfield. No space, no time to breathe. Dorgy was phenomenal. The thing about Ugarte is this: he has been one of United's poorest signings that we've had in a while. 100%. He's not the DM we thought we was going to get, because we thought we were going to get like a kind of Kante style of defensive midfielder, wins tackles, runs around, high energy, high stamina, wins tackles, and just lays it off to the guy who's better at him playing the ball, passing the ball. We haven't got that. We haven't seen that from Ugarte for most of his time. He loses a lot of duels. He makes the wrong decisions while he's passing, and he's not the quickest along the ground. But today, alongside Casemiro, which we've seen quite a few times in the Amarin, Ugarte, Casemiro, just to win the ball back and play it. We saw it on the Ruvan Nistelrooy as well, when he had his interim stint, that he was the one that those two were the pair, Ugarte and Casemiro, and we did wellish there, especially in the Europa League for under Amarin. So Ugarte is a player that he just needs. It's like he needs another DM in front of him, behind him. He needs someone else to cover the space that he will go and get. But then he also needs an attacking midfielder to do all the creative work and all the passing work they can't do. So with Man United, if Amram sticks to a 3-man midfield, maybe he can be serviceable until the summer. I don't think he's a player that we would want to keep around for long term. But up until now, if we can play him with Cass, if we can have a Mount, a Mainu, or Bruno in front of him, Cass next to him, he might be able just to do a job, which is just to be that middleman in that middle space, trying to just get the ball back. When he's been left alone in that area, it's been not great. Xerxes is from English Town FC. Xerxes a waste of space and should be booed more. I don't think Xerxes should be booed more because I don't think that would make him any better than he is. Xerxes, Xerxes hasn't been Man United's greatest signings like ever. He's been poor to average. Today he had good moments of holding up the ball, but then his first touch of the game was almost giving them a chance to score. So he's up and down in the team, but so are many players in this team. Those are players in this team are up and down within games. They make mistakes, then they're brilliant. They concede a chance to the opposition, but then they make an amazing pass. It's just what these Man United players are, and this is what we have to deal with. So yeah, I don't think he should be booed more. We should replace him. We should get better than him, but we don't need to boo him because I don't think that'll help him whatsoever. Man like Tony says, happy we won. Yep, so am I, boy. Hey, you know what I mean? So am I. I am so happy we won that because otherwise we would, yeah, it would be more depression time. But it's Christmas, you know what I mean? And I gotta thank Newcastle for doing up Santa Claus settings, you know what I mean? Giving us the presents, even though we may have not been the best people throughout the year. He still gave us a nice little gift. So thank you, Newcastle. Heaven, AFC Academy defended with heart. Listen, that is a nice little pickup that we got there from Heaven. And these are the signings that we want Ineos to make, where, again, the hidden gems. We saw that he wasn't getting a chance at Arsenal. We sign him. We give him a chance. We give him a chance to shine. That is what Man United is about. That's one thing that Ruben Amorim in the last few months have been feeling down about, is we give you young players a chance, even if they're not the greatest. Just give them a chance to show you if they're good enough or not good enough, and that's it. No one's saying that you must play Carrington players every single week. No one's saying you must play the entire academy every single week, but give them a chance when we need it. And Heaven's proving that. Give them a chance, stick with them, coach them, guide them, that they can be an asset. Heaven was amazing today. Rounds of applause for United's performance. You see, like, I'm torn. In one breath, I want to say it was amazing because we got the win, kept the clean sheet, defensive stability. We fought for the win. But on the other hand, it's like we went 1-0 up, and from like the 30th minute onwards, we have just been backs to the wall, didn't really hold on to possession, allowed Newcastle territory, didn't make use of our counterattacks. So there's a lot of work still left to go. But overall, the result I'm happy with, and the clean sheet and some of the performances from the United players, I cannot complain about that. John United said, let's be real, it changed after Mount's injury. His pressing mattered. They came out firing second half, and Amorim had to react. Look at the players he has. He needs backup. We needed a win and got it. That's very true. Listen, I wasn't a fan of Amorim's subs, but the Mount injury, you can't really blame on Amorim. It looks like something maybe wrong with Martinez. Maybe it was precautionary. Again, you can deal with that. The Casemiro sub, not gonna lie, that got me still. I didn't think that was the right move to do, because I thought that's our most experienced, he's our most experienced player on the pitch. We've got some younger guys on there right now. We need him to support them and support the team. But hey, Amorim made that decision. He went really defensive with our changes, but he got the win. And that's what that matters at the end of the day, especially in this period. We need the W's. We need to get through. We got a few, how many games left before AFCON's over? What, 5 more games? Need them back. Kobe Mainoo should be back next week, so next game. So hopefully he plays against Wolves. We just need to pick up results while we wait for the likes of Bruno, Maguire, De Ligt, and everyone else to come back as well. I want to hear what Staffy wants to say. Listen, Staffy ain't here. You know Staffy ain't here, bruv. You know what I mean? Staffy don't do match attractions no more. Sad, man. Come through, man. I've sent him the link. He's got the link, so he can come through at any moment. But Staffy. He saves it for straight facts on Fridays. Joshua Jack say, I dare someone to defend the second half from the manager. How do you go from liquid football to bunker ball in a half? The subs didn't make any sense. We literally parked the bus for half of football. Joshua Jack, I understand. I'm with you on that one. It was very frustrating, very annoying. The switch from the 4 at the back and how well we was doing to going back to the 5 at the back, playing basically 5-3-2, putting Lenny Yoro in a situation again where he's getting exposed in the same situation. Like when he's out wide, he's not defending the wide space as well. So why bring him in to play that role? These are the questions. There are questions that we still need to get asked and reviewed for this game, despite the result. Overall, listen, we got the win, so it's one of those ones, a sigh of relief, 100% a sigh of relief. Let me see what you guys are saying here. I've been getting slaughtered, man. Like David, if you're free, come on, man. Hopefully you're good, man. I've been slaughtered. I've been getting slaughtered for saying we improved. Today is a sweet day. Happy to see this result and a clean sheet. We've improved in some areas. I think attacking wise, we are improving for sure. Defensive today, you can argue is an improvement. Definitely. If you deep dive into it, I'm sure we could have a good discussion on where things are still need to be worked on. But overall, yes, Man United are improving. It's about how much you rate the improvement. Is it now worth being top 4? Are we still a top 6 team? Are we a top 8 team? It depends how far you want to say we've improved. But I'm not going to deny that we improved because we have. We have. The table from last year to this year doesn't lie. That we are now, I think, maybe what, 4 to 7 points better off. You can't deny that. Terry's computer was enjoying the Christmas break. Oh yeah, man, that is drunk. A drunk computer, like his owner sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Terry went in hard in Christmas, man. You went hard for his birthday, went hard for Christmas. Huge win considering a few of the lads are off to AFCON. Skip it out, copy out, Delict and Harry out. Today it was about the result, not performance. Prior to the L last week, we've been winning. Glory, Man United. Yeah, we're in a weird space, man. Like we're in a weird space where we get these wins like Newcastle at home. Crazy. But then we will draw to Bournemouth after leading. Like we are a very interesting team right now. That is for sure. Baz here said, I wouldn't call Xerxes an embarrassment to the shirt. He gives it his best, not good enough, but works harder than harder than many other players. Yeah, he's not an embarrassment to the shirt. He does try. That's all you can ask for from a player, to be fair, as long as he's trying. Newcastle had one shot on target, and we're lucky. Yeah, I want to say we're lucky. You know what I mean? I want to say we're lucky. Maybe the luckiest part was the crossbar that Lewis Hall hit. But other than that, I don't think we were lucky. I think we deserved the win in the end. Because you could say, oh yeah, Newcastle had this cross, no one found him. That cross, no one found him. But we had a couple of moments like that too, where players put the ball into the box, and if it was just a little bit ahead of them, they'll be through and score. So yeah, we definitely weren't lucky. Right, let's get the flipping panel out. We got man like Ash, and we've got man like Sam coming back. He hasn't been on the wild, took a break, but he's back for the Christmas holidays. Hope you are doing well. Everyone, remember to subscribe to the Football Terrace and like the stream and like the video. Make sure you're sharing this out to all the people who are not watching right now. Ash. You are now lost to Ruben Amorim's Man United, who we know Bruno, no Mainu, 3 the right-hand side off the AFCON, senior defenders missing, and yet failed to score and ended up losing to Patrick Drogu, who won the goal, and he's never scored for Man United. How are you feeling, my friend?
I mean, first of all, Merry Christmas. Hope everyone's having a great holiday. I did say the other week that I thought Man United were going to win this fixture just because we've had a historical stinky record over the past 10 years again. Man United away on Boxing Day for some reason. I don't know who keeps on deciding to do this. We've had the likes of you 4 times, Man City, Liverpool. Like, I don't know who's flipping sorting out our Boxing Day fixtures, but they love to ruin our flipping Christmas. I wouldn't say you guys are lucky. I think we're the product of our own undoing this game. Like, I'm going to tell you a stat which I had to look up because I couldn't believe how many crosses we were doing. In the second half, KJ, we had 35 crosses in the second half. That's nearly a cross a minute. Do you know how crazy that is? Like the way that Newcastle always set up, we always ran down the wing, and sometimes we would either cross it in or we would cut it across, and Gordon or Murphy or whatever would go for a shot. We just weren't doing that. We were only crossing, and that was a problem. Like out of those 35 crosses, we only got on the end of 4 of them. Like that is horrific. Look, Eddie Howe, he obviously got Ramsdale to go down at 9 minutes to tell the team something, because you guys were set up with the 4 at the back and was dominating us in the first 9 minutes. There was a stat that came on since Ramsdale went down until like 25 minutes. We had like 70% of the possession. So Eddie Howe obviously did something very well. Tactical change there. But look, I think a draw probably would have been okay. You guys just got the amazing goal from Drogu and then just sat back and then just allowed us to just set up crosses the whole game. And that was all it was. Lewis Hall did look amazing, I will say that. He probably was the one shining light of our team, I would say, this whole game. He was just everywhere. Obviously, he nearly got the goal from that strike that hit the crossbar, which would have been absolutely amazing if that went in. It would deserve something, but look, it is what it is. I would slate the performance, but whatever. I don't want to ruin my Christmas anymore.
Fair enough. We've got Cam with us as well. He's a United fan. Big win in the end against a team that many United fans, including myself, weren't very confident about at all. But we found a way. What do you think of the game and how Amorim handled going ahead and the second half?
Where's my man Staffy, who said 0% chance? 0 is what he said. So you can answer for that one. I mean, let's keep it a buck. We didn't look great. Like at no point was I even said, even the first half, I was like, we don't look great. We don't look good, but we do what we had to do. I'm in this weird crossroads with this manager where, and I kind of did the Terry thing where I started marking things down every time the players let the team down versus like what the manager did. Listen, the subs will get into that, but in the first half, there was like this one play that broke down. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Cunha. Sesko was busting the gut, and like the pass was behind him. And you're like, kill the attack. That's not on the manager. That's an opportunity that like easy football right there. Another opportunity. Luke Shaw was driving, same thing. He had Xerxes behind him, kills the attack. Another one was again Sesko driving, somebody kills the. We had three big moments where it was like we could have broke 2-3-on-1. It would have been easy setups, and they killed the attack on their own. And I'm like, I can't get mad at the manager for that. And when Delo is the one being, and here's the thing, Delo, I have an issue with Delo being one of our main attacking threats right now. If you've been watching us recently, he's always in scoring positions. He's landing in scoring positions, left, right, and center. And it's like, of course he's not scoring because that's not what he does. He's not capable. He's not that dude. So when he gets in these positions, like today, if that's a winger, they score. They like, I'm sorry, like that's like Delo one-on-one, like he just misses sitter after sitter after sitter. He'll get the one every 6 games because yes, law of averages, you're a pro footballer. It's like you get a basketball player who can't hit threes. If he takes 30 of them, he's gonna hit one. Doesn't matter. Like it's the same idea. So I'm sitting here being like, yes, do I want the manager to go? Because when I saw what he did with the with the subs, I'm like, this man is like, I mean, it's typically women who do this, but you know, when you're in a relationship and you don't want to be in it anymore, but you don't want to break it off because you don't want to be seen as the bad guy. So you do some crazy shit that allows that forces the other person to have to break up with you. Self-sabotaging, right? That's a big thing. Men do it too, but women do it more.
Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Sorry.
Self-sabotage that we saw.
No, don't move it back. I haven't got the other stuff set up properly yet, mate. Keep it as it was, bro.
My bad.
Yeah, the self-sabotage that we saw today from Amorim was mind-boggling. I was just like, AL, like at one point, I had no idea what we were even in. Like, it's like we had 7 players on the pitch. I'm like, people talking about formation. There was no people talked about Ollie and vibes and freestyle football. This was worse than that. This was a bunch of dudes on the pitch. Get the ball, kick it. Get the ball, kick it.
Bro, you had 6 at the back.
Bro, so I called it. So if you watch NFL football, I called it prevent defense. Like, literally, we just put everybody back and said, when you get the ball, kick it right back to Newcastle and hope they don't do something with it, because the amount of, like you said, the amount of crosses that were coming in, you're like, all it takes is one of those to just have a bad break and it's a goal. Like, it's all it takes. And we did.
Did you get from a Man United point of view? Can you guys help me understand this? Because why could you guys understand why we were putting so many crosses in? Because for the life of me, I could not
let you. So here's the thing, Ash. This is the thing. We said because every time we got the ball, we just said, here's the ball back to you. Like, we just kicked it to you, and you guys were like, all right, we'll flood the box and we're gonna cross it in and hope for something. Like, it's not even hope at that point when you have that many crosses into the box, when we had no aerial threat anymore because Sesko was taken out, right? So no aerial threat. We had Martinez, who was playing like he was 6'4" out there, literally our best player on the pitch by a mile. And if I was you guys, I'd have done the same thing, because at that point, you're just hoping for a ball to drop to the right dude and it's a goal, because we were so discombobulated. We had no shape, nothing. Like, at the end of the day, I saw what Newcastle was trying to do, and I understood. I'm like, yeah, they're going to score at some point. I actually thought if you scored, you were going to go on and win. Like, I was like, that's how I felt about the game. But I can't be mad. I'm super happy we won. Let's keep it 1,000. I'm super excited we won. And at the end of the day, it was nice to finally see. I see Terry said it earlier, like, the players really looked like they were very least trying their asses off. They were like, we can't lose this game. And they looked, they like, even seeing Cass being angry coming off, like, I love seeing that personally. Like, when he's a player who could just be like, yeah, cool, I'm old, take me off. He was livid, and I love that. So I don't know, man. It's a mixed bag with Amorim. I am curious to see what happens when we get everybody back. I really am. This person who says, can't believe you took Cass out. Nobody can. There isn't a single worth their salt who watched that game who understood that sub. Not one person understood it. It was like, sure, I guess you want to lose the game.
And another thing is, Ash, about your crossing question, we just packed the box. Like, you weren't really. Oh wait,
if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you. I'm muted, Terry.
I'm getting, honestly, sorry, my main computer crashed. Like, it won't turn back on. My laptop ain't been turned on for like 4 weeks. I had to do updates and shit. I have to say this, and I sound like a horrible cunt. What the fuck have I walked into from Man United fans? Why aren't you man buzzing? What's going on here?
Oh, hold on.
I'm hearing moaning. I'm hearing Ash acting like we were the shit.
No. I just said, let's keep it 1,000. I'm super happy we won. Yeah. I literally just said that. I'm just at a crossroads where now, Terry, I said I'm conflicted because I've wanted Amorim gone so much in the last few weeks, but now I'm watching and seeing the players make so many mistakes and seeing if he had some players in the right positions, how much better we would be, that I'm kind of like, I think I got to just wait for the year to end at this point. I think I just
that's what it is. And you know what it is. And you know what it is as well, like, as much as it was a big win and we defended well, why we were defending well is not a good thing. You know what I mean? Why we were back to the wall, like 7 men in the box, just Lamens claiming things that he shouldn't.
By the way, Lamens,
madman. He's a madman. One way is a deep cross.
Where I disagree, the reason why, I haven't listened to everything you guys have said. That's why I wanted to ask, because for me, listen, I've been very critical of the team in the last year. We played better football against Bournemouth. We played better football against Aston Villa in large parts. But do you know what we didn't do in those games? Is we didn't win the football matches. We couldn't get it done. We couldn't get them over the line. Where today we did, and we had 8 players out missing. We had another couple of players go off injured in the game. I agree the substitutions were crazy. I wouldn't have made the substitutions that we did. 110%, I agree with that. But you know what? The fact that we had to bring kids, this is for me, whenever I see a game where we're having to bring kids onto the football pitch, I'm nothing but proud of the fact. Because you know what? If we did fight for every ball, if we did close down every attack the way we did tonight, if we fought, like even Ugarte, who I've been over for a long time, some of the tackles from him today, right in the 3rd minute of the game, I think Bruno Guimaraes is running through, might have been Tonali, and he makes a brilliant tackle to take him out. For me, one of my biggest issues in the last 2 years has been a lack of fight like we showed tonight. So for me, I look at it and go, I can get far more from this than playing pretty football against Bournemouth but conceding 4 goals. Tonight makes me personally like so much happier.
So the Fletcher kid who came on, he made one of the best tackles I've seen any of our players make in a long time. I was like it was like a pass almost at the same time. He didn't mean it, but it was nasty.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying, Terry. I agree, but at the same time, for me, there's balance on it's like I do not want to see us in a situation where we have 7 dudes just out there scrapping for their absolute lives for 35 minutes. I was holding my breath. I was just like,
let me ask you this question though. Let me ask you this question. I don't know what you boys predicted. A lot of people thought we were going to get steamrolled today. Staffy earlier on today.
I said Man United was going to win.
I chirped Staffy as soon as I got on, Terry. First thing I said.
But what I'm saying, Staffy came on earlier and he said 0% chance we win.
Yeah,
I thought we'd lose. Right? I was like, the best we can get out of this game is a draw. If we were going to win, it was going to be like how we won it.
But this is what I don't understand. How I don't understand. I don't. This is what
I didn't think we were going to lose, and I told the boys in the chat, I was like, stop bringing my vibes down. I felt neutral about it. I felt like we had a chance to win the game. I just didn't know how we were going to win. So
why do you guys keep being so negative about this stuff? Like, it's not like you're scoring lots of goals.
No,
like
because everybody's out.
We've literally got a centre mid at right back.
Yeah,
we don't have a single defender.
Your defense wasn't an issue today, bro. You keep going on about your defense, like, oh, we've got all these players out. That wasn't an issue for you, fam. Yeah. It was your attack and your midfield. You dominated the game, which is why we were stressed. Yeah, you knew you would do that.
None of us. If you ask anybody, score a goal. Any United fan worth their salt, if you said you're gonna win today by a Drogu screamer, we'd all go,
yeah, we'd laugh.
No chance, right? So I hear what Terry's saying, but I had no idea. I was comfortable. I just had no idea how we were gonna win the game. I was like, I don't know. We'll see. I had no idea.
It's like some people said that we've got one win away from home.
Yeah,
this season. But this is what I'm saying is like people are downplaying Man United far too much when we are having a absolute terrible season away from home. Like Gordon, I'm pretty sure he's not scored a single open play goal in 2025.
But Ash, we're the opposite. We're having a terrible season at home.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ash, is that people genuinely believe that you guys will be okay in the long run because we've seen you be consistent under Eddie Howe. Whereas Man United, we've had so many different managers in the last five years. We've not been consistent. Amorim has shown us almost nothing in the Premier League. And so, yeah, people will downplay us more than Newcastle because we're not in a position where there's confidence from our own fan base, let alone from the media.
And on that, my issue was, this is why I'm so discombobulated. I didn't finish saying all my bits. I didn't introduce anyone. I don't know what's being said. So I always feel a bit naked right now. It's a bit of a weird time for me to come back in. But from my point of view, like I want to go to a comment here because I want to go to the audience for a minute. Because I normally spend 15, 20 minutes with my audience, and I haven't done that, and I need to. No disrespect to the panelists, but my audience is always more important. But there's a comment here that I want to put up, which I think is key, and this is my issue with this setup. It's all fucking discombobulated, out of sync. It looks awful. I'm very sorry, people, but I'm actually gonna have to go out and buy a new computer because this thing just keeps crashing over and over again. I knew it was on the way out, but
you have OCD, eh?
2 years old. I'm gonna take it to the guy that sold it to me and throw it through his shop window tomorrow.
Terry, you've got OCD, don't you?
No.
I've just got. Do you know what it is? This ain't a hobby to me. It's my business. So when it ain't operating right, it's a bit like imagine you turn up to work in a creased up shirt, like smelly breath. You know what I mean? Your presentation looking crap. That's how I feel when it doesn't look how I'm meant to do it. Yeah. But this here says that Terry is like a roller coaster. Can't keep up with him. By the week, up and down. 1 week, Amorim out. By the way, I'm never Amorim out. I don't side with most of those scumbags. They're idiots. I don't side with Amorim out as they're not nice people. It's a bit like agreeing with one policy that the left or right agree on. Doesn't mean you're one of those freaks, right? And I mean the extreme left and right. 1 week up and down, the next week he tries to celebrate with us. That's why I don't take him seriously. The problem is, Levi, I want to address you personally. it's not my fault that your brain works in extremities. It's not my fault you're an extremist. I'm not sold that Amorim has turned things round, but equally, it's because a lot of United fans don't understand what our true problems are, and a lot of the time it's mentality. I'll get called out tonight, go, see, told you the mentality was good. Well, no, we don't fight like this in every game. We don't scrap like this in every game. And if we work this hard, 38 games of the season, no matter for the last 13 years, every season would have been better. Every cup run would have been better. So for me, a reason I'm in a good mood is because I saw my team fight for every blade of grass. And actually, when my team's depleted like it was tonight, when I'm bringing kids onto the football pitch with no experience, when I'm getting further injuries in the game and I see my team fight and not give up, I'm proud of that. Me being proud in this moment doesn't undo all the previous criticism of players and or the manager. It's not up and down. It's not a changing of my mind. No disrespect, Levi, because I've got the ability to have independent thought in the moment, but not change my mind about my overarching views every 5 minutes. It's for me, where I'm from, it's called being very normal. Just want to address that. It's called being a very normal, sane, level-headed human being. It's not 1 week Amorim shit, the next week Amorim good, as in my overarching views. But do you know what can happen? He can have a week where him and the team are brilliant, and he can have a week where him and the team are crap, and you criticize it individually. It's very important to remember that. A few more comments here. This here says Drogu was phenomenal, but it feels like we're finally on the right position for Ugarte. He completely suffocated Newcastle's midfield. No space, no time to break. But he did tonight what I thought we signed him for. And it's ironic that I actually called it out earlier today and said he hasn't done good enough job. Won the ball back brilliantly, shielded the back line, put in maybe 5 or 6 brilliant tackles and interceptions to win the ball back. I'm not expecting anything brilliant. There was one great little turn from him. I don't know if you guys remember it in the first half where he dropped his shoulder. But that's what we've come. Yeah, I mean, but he was very good tonight. Xerxes, waste of space and should be booed more. Well, again, I wouldn't go that far. That's fucking mad. I don't know what you guys think. That's crazy.
No, I don't do the booing your own team thing ever, unless they do something like insane.
Yeah. I think he deserved. I mean, I wouldn't have taken Šeško off. I would have kept Šeško on the football pitch.
Tal, do you think it's because So I think he's taking him off because he can't play 90 yet. It's only a second.
I remember mentioned. I think in the post-game interview about taking off Mount because he felt something in his legs, but he wanted to play on. But Amorim's like, I can't lose any more players. So I think with like the Sesko sub and the Martinez sub, he's thinking long term,
protecting them.
Yeah. The Martinez one was it. Do you know what's mad about it though? I mean, he made the subs, and barring hitting the post a few seconds later, they didn't create anything. So as much as we can criticize it, it did work. What super chat did you get up to, bruv? Which ones did you do?
I did all of them, to be fair, except from Robert.
Did you do the one of blaming Amorim subs?
Oh no, yeah, from Amorim subs down. That's that.
Okay, cool. So I didn't realize the other super chats were done. This here says blaming Amorim subs when Xerxes comes on and plays like he's at soccer a disgraceful player and was rightfully booed 12 months ago and nothing changed. So look, I'm going to push back against that and say, look, Xerxes wasn't great. I don't think he was awful. I would have kept Šeško on the football pitch though. Because I would have kept Šeško on, I will blame the manager for making that substitution. But like I've said, on a balance level, we did see the game out. And he might have been offside, but Delo could have scored. And I actually thought we should have done better on some of our breaks as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
David here says, for goodness sakes, we finished 15th. We are now heading in the right direction. Where's your tracking, Terry? Only use it for Arsenal. Well, first and foremost, David, my computer crashed. The file was actually on that computer, not this one. So I was in the middle of talking about that. And in fact, you can call me out, but I don't have all the data in front of me because I've had a problem with the systems here. So that's why we're on this old shitty setup. But it's weird that you're calling me out. Very strange behavior. because we spoke only 4 hours ago on a show together where I said that there have been some improvements this year. And if we were to beat Newcastle, I do believe we beat Wolves next. That will make us 10 points better than at 19 games last season. And to not recognize that as some improvement is crazy. But equally, I said it at the beginning of the show, so hopefully you were tuning in rather than calling me out, and said that the reason I'm happiest tonight isn't the win. It's because in the last few games, I've been screaming how easy we have been to play through and open up and create big chances against. Tonight, for me, is a better performance than the previous 2 games because we were hard on the bit. What I know is if we play like this, with this intensity, this shape, but you add Ahmad and Mbumo and Bruno, just to name a few, the lick back into this team, we will be far more dangerous when it comes to the attacking side of the match.
Do you think you showed fight against Bournemouth?
Oh, that's Chaz.
When you say fight, what do you mean?
You see how today you categorized his performance and said, if we play like this, we'll get more wins, or you'd be happy with performances.
Okay, yeah. So no, against Bournemouth, we came out in the second half far too timid, and we collapsed and we conceded, and our arseholes went. We conceded 2 goals in 5 minutes. Then we switched back on again, changed of formation, got ourselves up 4-3. And then we conceded very quickly, and then there was nothing from us for the remaining period of the game.
Yeah, because I actually agree with you. Usually I'd be like, you're being like over the top or something. I would call you out today, but I don't think you're being over the top because today did show fight.
I'm 100% right.
Fair enough.
So, Tal, one thing on David's point about tracking, because I want to, I think...
One second. I was going to say that the reason I called in actually is because I was looking at the Chelsea-Newcastle game the other day, and post the game, I was like, I'll take a point. Like, you got a point. And before the game, I was conflicted because I was like, Newcastle haven't been that great, even at home. They had a few wins before our game. And then watching them today, I genuinely don't know. I don't know if this is harsh or not. I don't know if their finishing is the reason why they're annoyed, or is it United defensively were better than how they usually been? That's how I'm viewing the game today. Because I think Newcastle...
Let me give you an example.
That's what I don't know what Ash said before.
I'll give you an example because I want to speak Newcastle. I don't know how much we've done on it.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part either. That's what I'm
ask. Yeah, because I didn't have anything on. I put my computer crashed. But for me, there was a moment tonight where I get why Newcastle fans will say we didn't make the most of it. There was a great cross about 35, 40 minutes into the game from Murphy on the right.
Is the in?
Yeah, it goes across the 6-yard box. And straight away, why didn't Voldemar do this? Why didn't someone do that? Go back and watch what Aiden Heaven does. Aiden Heaven, he got ahead of the striker and just blocked his run. He made it impossible for him to capitalize. So when I see our defenders cutting off angles, getting to the ball first, winning the second balls, or my goalkeeper's positioning being in a point where he comes out and catches those crosses, you can make the argument if the crosses were better and faster and more accurate, they might have scored. But equally, we were in the right place to cut those balls out at the same time.
I think that's fair.
I watch my team play, and a ball gets cut back, and we're standing on our toes. There's massive space. That, for me, I think there's a combination there.
I do understand that.
Well today, absolutely.
I do think you defended better, but I will admit that Newcastle, the way they played away from home, and even today, you can understand why, yes, you'll praise your team. Obviously, things come in balance, right? And I do think Newcastle will walk away from this game and go, Man United conceded, I think, every game barring one. To have 16 shots, like 3-4 on target, isn't good enough from their point of view,
But here's the thing, Chaz. I think they didn't create any clear-cut chances, and that was due to...
I think that's why they're disappointed, though, Cameron. That's what I'm saying.
Chance that I actually saw, other than the one where they hit the post, was when Jacob Murphy, to me, that was a chance when he slipped.
But Cam, that's the point. I think they weren't good up front. I think... when I watched the game, right, Cam, this is my assessment of the game before I respond. I think United first half were far better second half. I think first half, tactically they outdone Newcastle, passing the ball around, fizzing the ball. Sesko played, I don't agree with Terry, I think he overpraised him. I think he was average to okay. I don't think he was that great. Shouldn't have better of his chance in the second half. But I think United played much better than what I've seen before. But in the second half, I did see a lot of the Bournemouth West Ham type performance where you kind of sit back and kind of ride your luck. The difference was, like Terry said, you fought a bit harder, and that's what got you the win. But in contrary to that, I think Newcastle were disappointed because I don't think they did a way near enough as what they should have with the space they had. I don't think it was like they had no room to work with. Willops getting the ball, passing it, trying to go through balls. The shots were poor. It's similar to Chelsea game where
I
they
agree.
should have cleared us in the first half.
I agree.
They should have smacked us in the first half. So I think
I'm-
Newcastle in trouble, Terry. That's my
I'm going to go to Ash next on that. Look, you made some great points. I didn't like how he started the second half. I do think it was a bit too passive because it was the same. Mount's not a possession guy. I did actually think Mount played well in the first half. Some of his little touches around the corner and his pressing, very important. But in terms of, we had a lot of the ball in the first half, and I do feel there was an element in the second of us feeling those nerves, especially this again. Only one game ago at home, we're 2-1 up. Start the second half, we were fantastic in the first half against Bournemouth, and that was my fear. If you go back and watch that Bournemouth first half performance and the Newcastle,
Terry, let's be real. Let's be honest. Yeah, I'll let Ash respond. But Cam, KJ, and Terry, if Newcastle drew that game 1-1, would you be sitting there saying you got robbed?
No, I wouldn't have felt we got robbed.
Not robbed, but you get my point.
I would have been real quick. I'd been upset.
I'll tell you when I would have felt. I'll answer it. I'll tell you when I'd have felt a little bit robbed. If they would have equalised in the last minute with a 35-yard screamer into the top corner, I would have felt disappointed because I don't think our defending, personally, warranted that, if I'm being honest. Even though they had much more of the ball in the second half, Sesko going through on goal, Delo should have scored, and we had a counter-attack where I feel that Cunha should have played the ball into Doku for him to cut it back to him. I feel like we had 3 better scoring opportunities. A lot of their stuff in the second half was all we can do is cross from deep and hope that the cross cuts out every Man United player. So if they weren't peppering our goal, and that for me, if we'd have conceded late, I'd have felt really gutted. Robbed is probably the wrong word for it because Newcastle weren't complete.
Not robbed, yeah. Not robbed.
I've got to praise for a team that barely gets clean sheets and is always defensively suspect. I can't moan about that every week. And then in a game where we do it well, start going, oh, it was lucky that Newcastle didn't pass better. I've got to praise my boys for that. I've got to. So, Ash, I haven't heard from you yet. What did you make of Newcastle? Because I thought we'd have more Newcastle fans on tonight because you're always here when you're winning. But what did you make of your performance tonight? Because I'm not going to lie to you. In the build-up today, so many Newcastle fans online expecting to beat us and smash us. All the posts about how you own us because you've won so many of our clashes in the last couple of years. What did you make of your individual performance today? Your team's performance today. Why couldn't you get going? Why couldn't you create those chances tonight, in your opinion?
I said, so I was saying, I'm pretty sure whatever was discussed at half-time was just the wrong talk because Eddie Howe clearly said, just put in crosses. Like I said, I want someone to fact-check this and find out, did we get the most crosses in the Premier League in one half? I think
that might be us against Fulham.
Man United, Fulham, and New Year's Day. I was at that game.
How many crosses did you have in a half? Because in one half we had 35 crosses. That's nearly one cross a minute.
Oh, you might have beaten us actually. That was 37, I think we had.
Yeah, in one half, in the second half, we had 35 crosses, and only four we got on the end of. Like, I'm sorry, when we take off the likes of Voltamada, we shouldn't be just going in for that. Of course, you still should expect to get on some of the end of the crosses, but the main thing that Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon are so good at is cutting inside and shooting from the edge of the box, the corner of the box, and it goes in the top bins. That's what they do. But I don't know what Eddie Howe or whatever told them to do, but it was run down the wing and cross it across every time. And it just, you guys ended up doing like a 6 at the back sort of formation, which for me would make more sense to try and go for a bit more of a ball from further out. Also, someone just said, Howe, absolutely not. I've told you this. I'm going to be Howe in for years. That's never changing. Granted, actually, Eddie Howe did say something literally like yesterday or something that scared the crap out of me. He said he's like 99% chance he will not be the Newcastle manager by the time like we get a new stadium. So that was a slightly worrying thing.
Maybe he just means that's not going to be anytime soon, right?
Yeah, so, to be fair, that's not that bad, to be fair. So before you could jump in, I just want to counter what is it. So the whole costing thing on about 2 things. I think Eddie Howe has seen our weaknesses because we've been susceptible to crosses this season. Poor defending, scrambles, weak, timid. So it's not necessarily like a bad tactic to do against United. And second of all, you said we had a back 6 at one point, back 7 at one point, and most of the time they were in our box. You trying to do intricate play is hard when you've got 6-7 man in the box. So
that's what I mean. Just shoot from distance.
Yeah, this is the one time you did. You basically hit the crossbars. It was
Lewis
close,
Hall.
So yeah, but like overall, I don't think your tactics were necessarily the wrong thing to do in the scenario that we were in. If you're a bit more
you
open,
never won an away game in so long. That's the problem, bro.
Yeah, no, I hear
it's
that.
easy to look at isolation, but when you make a collection, then you can pick out where like systemic issues are. It's not just the one game thing.
I do get it, but again, could you shoot from the edge of the box? That's where Cass and Ugarte did their job brilliantly. They made that space hard. They made you keep moving the ball. There were a few times, I would say there was the cutback that Lemaine's caught from the right-hand side quite late in the game. When there was one mistake we made today, it was when Delo told Yoro to go with Hall, but they both stayed up and Hall was free. That cutback stroke cross should have been better because he had space, but all the others, you were forced into it. And that's where I'm going to give my team and I'm going to give my players and I'm going to give my manager credit. We did that. Am I happy with everything we did? There was a comment that came through a minute ago, which I think holds some water. That says, Terry, that was a stinky win, mate. If I was paying to watch that, I would demand a refund. Now, again, you're obviously going over the top. But equally, this is where I'll look at the good bits. I'll look at the negative bits. I think that we know but it's hard, right? Because a lot of the players who started that game, how many of us expected us to have more of the ball than Newcastle as United fans with that type of midfield that we played? I don't think many of us would have done. So that's where we know we need better players moving forward. But equally, I'd take a stinky win like that against Newcastle. Listen, we haven't lost at home in 47 years on Boxing Day. It's now 395 games where we've been leading at half time and not not lost the game. I don't care how we get the wins. I need those little records to stay in place. We've lost all our good records at Man United in the last 13 years. I want them to stay, mate. If Onana was still at United, he would have been in the bottom half.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, he ate
100%.
some of those crosses that Lemaine's come out with.
Yeah, Lemaine's
Onana don't do that. Onana doesn't do it.
There's one on our right-hand side, and he literally came from his goal line to the middle of the box. And I'm just like, and he caught it. And I was like, you are insane.
No, that's
if he had missed
that was
amazing.
And you're saying that he probably screamed and no one heard him, and he just clattered into his own dude. Where it's like Onana would have just been like,
by the way, I hear you, man. I hear Andre here with the super chat says there have been improvements, but I'm conflicted because we've scored the second most goals and the most set piece goals. Do you know what's really interesting? I want more open play goals. I'm not going to deny. Of course, I want more. I want to get better in every facet. I want more clean sheets. That's also why I can't moan about today overly. It's only our second clean sheet of the season. We need more defensive performances like this. But equally, I'm going to praise the goals from set pieces. We have been a team. Man United were terrible at conceding from set pieces. We have improved slightly this year, but we went for about a 3 or 4 year period where we had one of the bottom 2 or 3 records in the league at scoring from set pieces. The fact that we're currently the best, I want to be the best in every facet of the game. Best at defending set pieces and scoring from them. Most goals from open play, least amount of goals conceded from open play. I want to be the best in every function. What I won't do is moan about being good at one thing because I'm not good at another. That for me, that's like being really good at squatting, but not quite where you want to be with bench press and going, fuck you, squats. No, keep working on the squats, but also improve the bench press. That's my view on that, my friend. This here said, hang on. Mark Goldbridge is being called out. Let's have a little look here. This says, tell me why your mate Mark, first of all, I'll read the rest out and answer you. I can't tell you why Mark thinks what he thinks. He's a human being. He's not an AI program that I work on. He says United. Why he thinks that United should have more possession than Newcastle. I can't believe he thinks that. But then says our midfield isn't good enough. Well, again, so I need to ask you. I haven't listened to it. Does he want us to buy a midfield that can have more possession, or does he think this midfield was capable of it? Because again, if someone says I'm so desperate for us to buy a better midfielder so we have more possession because these lot can't do it. That's different from thinking that this midfield should have more possession. But I do think we could have had more authority on the play in the second half, like we did in the first half, because the possession was in our favour until we scored the goal. He then went on to, and also he claims, Terry, us having the injuries we have aren't a factor in conceding goals and not closing out games. Well, go on, KJ, go on.
No, I'm about to say, I kind of agree, because I don't think necessarily all of our goals that we conceded have just been about no De Ligt and no Maguire or anything. I think there have been some structural issues in what we do. But at the same time, yes, like if we had De Ligt in some of these goals that we conceded, or Maguire when we defend in the box, we may have not been conceded as many goals. But would we still close out games? Well, we had Maguire and De Ligt for Spurs, and we didn't see out the game. We had them for Nottingham Forest, and we didn't see out the game. So it's more than just necessarily the personnel.
Yeah, that's where Mark's right and wrong. It's have the last couple of games, the AFCON players not being there and the injuries hurt us. Yes, because I actually think the change in shape in the last 3 matches has helped us. So I think I was just about to say before the computer crashed earlier. Well, again, I was annoyed with the pundits tonight. They were talking about this formation change like it's appeared out of nowhere and it wasn't set to happen. You know, KJ, because me and you are probably the only 2 United fans who've consistently spoke about the fact that
Cam been there too. Cam been there too.
Yeah, Cam's been there. This was being said. I even heard Gary Neville turn around earlier, and they did the whole thing about the Pope and how like Amorim has sort of done it, and it's kind of come out of nowhere because he said he would never change it. I remember hearing Amorim's exact words, and they were, "I will change it when the time is right." He said that about 20 times. The fact that the pundits are not speaking the truth was doing my nut in. But back to the Mark Goldbridge thing. We've had our full strength team and not closed games out. So it isn't a complete excuse to say, just again, if you're just sitting there lying and saying, without the injuries, we'd never have any problems, that isn't true because we've had problems with the injuries. Where I would push back is go into a bit more nuanced conversation, which is what we haven't seen yet is us go to a back four, play 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 from the start of a game with the majority of our players, because we've only done it in the last couple of matches. So that is where you can't have a fully formed opinion as to whether it will be better or worse, because we don't know until the players are back. That's where I've been annoyed a bit at Amorim, is you should have tried this 5-6 weeks ago when we had a fully fit squad. And that for me, so there's a nuance in this conversation. So Mark is right, but it depends upon the context of the question that's been asked of him. You this year says, I would agree with that, Terry. If we were away, but we're home, to show 5% intent of attacking in the second half is pathetic. At home, putting 8 defenders is pathetic. Regardless of the result, that was pathetic.
Can I jump in on this one? Like,
yeah, of course,
this is where I want to big up. First off, I think my brother's actually watching, because I saw Sean Francis, and that's actually my brother's name. So if he is watching, big up.
Big up, bro.
I'm pretty sure he is, if that's him. If not, same last name, crazy. Anyway, this is where I want to talk. Like, this is where I fully agree with what David's trying to get everybody to feel and understand. Yeah, this is my brother. What up, bro? Yeah. So anyway, basically what I want to get on is the fact that David's talking about us being better and the tracking and talking about where we're at versus last year, and he's completely right. Because let's keep it a fucking 1,000. If we were 7 points below where we were last year, everybody would be tearing us to shreds. You said it earlier. Everybody would be talking about how bad we are, how terrible. And now look at it. If we beat Wolves, and this is where you'll see elation from me. You'll see elation from me. You'll see me going crazy next week when we beat Wolves, because I think we will, because that will finally be, okay, cool, let's go. That gap is proper. We've done what we need to do. The reason why I've been up and down is because every time we get to that point where we're supposed to show that we're making that big improvement, we stumble. And this win, I don't care how we got it, pathetic or not, whatever you want to call it. Like, nah, dude, go out and win the game. Because one thing that United fans have been waffling about for years now is, oh, if we play better football, I'll be happy. And then guess what? We draw against Bournemouth 4-4, and it didn't feel good, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't feel good. I wasn't happy. I didn't come out of that being like, well, we drew. Like, but we played better. Like, we have to win football matches. That's where we're at. And for me, if we're gonna go from where we're at this stage to, top 5 cemented before we get in the new year, hell yeah, dog. Like, that's where every United fan should be. We should be talking our shit. We should be saying, look at the difference. I don't care if we shouldn't have been in 15th or not, or whatever it might be. Next, like at this point in time, we're showing the rest of the league that we're at least somewhat for real again. And when we get our players back, they should be scared, straight up. Because if we get through AFCON, if we get through AFCON and we are in this position, then Guess what? All of a sudden, we are now a threat for top 4 in Champions League. If we get back into Champions League, guess what? We aren't losing these transfer battles. We aren't losing, like, we're getting the players we need, and we'll be back quicker than we should have been. Because everybody was hoping that this was going to be another 10, 6, whatever year. No, we'll be back quicker than we should have been. So I'm very comfortable about the fact that we won by any means necessary.
Yeah, and people can't deny the improvement. Because I said it earlier on the show while Terry was gone, like, the stats say so. The numbers say so. Like, you cannot deny the improvement. We've scored more goals. We've scored more from set pieces. We've conceded less from set pieces. We have got more points, which is the biggest thing of all. So you can't deny where United have improved. Now, if you want to say we've improved from 15th to 4th, 15th to 6th, 15th, that's a debate. You can debate how much we have improved, but to say that we have not improved at all, and it's just luck, that's wrong.
I totally agree, and I think this is the thing for me. Like Joshua, who said like he thinks it's pathetic. Obviously, Joshua doesn't backhammer him, has never backhammer him, and that's fair. You're entitled to have that opinion. I didn't look at today as pathetic. I wouldn't. That isn't a sort of an adjective or a descriptive word that comes into my mind when I think about the way we fought and the way we run and the way we persevered. Were we at our best in that second half? No. Were there some moments where you go, that was a pathetic touch or pass, or we could have done better there? Absolutely. But when it comes to football, for me, like the word pathetic, I typically use it more. Maybe in a moment, that's a pathetic shot or that's a pathetic save. But overall, I look at pathetic more when I don't see the team work. And I've seen Staffy tonight, who put out a tweet that sort of said something about the manager's subs worked against us and great win for the players rather than the manager, and the manager coached the win against us. Well, first and foremost, the manager has changed his system now. I think it's very late, and there's times where he could have done this sooner. He didn't need to be so rigid, but he has done what the Amorim outers have been asking him to do. And this is one thing, this is where things become more about the person doing them than what they've done, because it seems to have upset them a little bit more than you would expect, considering they've been asking for it. But then goes on to say things like, stop doubting these players' mentalities. No, I won't. I won't stop doubting these players' mentalities until we go for a long period of time without conceding 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I won't start doubting these players' mentalities until I see us work that hard every single game, because that is what hard work stems from, is a great mentality in any industry, in any sport, in any walk of life, right down to parenting. And do you know what, Cam? I'm not going to ask you to talk about this, but for instance, I've got friends who are parents who still don't get good night's sleep because they didn't put the hard yards in when their baby was born until it was 2 years old. When their baby wakes up, come sleep in the bed with us all night, or I'll stay in the bedroom with you until you fall asleep, and everything they ask for, they get. And trust me, they've got kids that are 8, 9 years old now that won't go to sleep. I did the hard yards when my babies were babies. And do you know what? I reap the benefits. Now they go to bed at 7, 7:30, and they sleep through until the morning, and I get an evening and I get a good night's sleep. But you know what? It was hard work, because you know what would have been easier when I was tired is to have grabbed the baby and gone, sleep in the bed next to me all night, because then I get a good night's sleep. But trust me, ladies and gentlemen, that cut in that corner, and by the way, there's always anomalies. Some kids are unwell. Some kids have these issues. I get it. But there's always problems. Like, I'm not talking in every case, but you cut the corner early. Trust me, as you get older, you're gonna suffer. And that's the issue I find with Man United players. There's so many games where we don't do the hard yards, where we don't break our backs. I want every player to not be able to walk when they wake up in the morning because of the lactic acid. And if we did that in every single game, irrespective of the squad, the formation, the manager, we would win more football matches. So I want to see more of that. And by the way, Staffy, what you didn't address in your tweet, brother, is that you said we had 0% chance of winning. So how about a little more credit? And you addressed that you were wrong tonight, my old pedigree chum. Sorry, Cam.
So Drogu, by the end of it, I said to the chat, I was like, yo, Drogu is gas. Like, you saw it when he was trying to run onto that ball. I was like, that's what I love to see. But that parenting example is exactly it. The only piece of unsolicited advice I will ever give to a parent, because you should never give unsolicited advice. You just shouldn't. Like, parenting's different for every kid or whatever, is sleep train. That's it. You train your kid to sleep. And if it doesn't work, you did your best. But if you tell me you're not getting sleep and my kid can't sleep and this and that, and you didn't actually try to sleep train your kid, that's on you.
Exactly
that's
right.
Not on the kid.
Exactly it. So if someone says to me, I tried this, I tried that, I did 6 months of this, I let them cry themselves. If they tried it all, you can tell as a parent, you can tell when a parent is telling you, I tried, it didn't work. When you get the other parents that are like, so how did you get your kid to go to sleep? Yeah, I just let them sleep with me every night until they were 5 years old, and now they're. So I have a cousin whose daughter is 10, and she can't fall asleep unless one of the parents are laying on the bed next to her until she falls asleep. So I've gone round there before to watch boxing because I'm taking Flossie up to sleep, and it's like 8:30. And it's like, well, the boxing's starting now. It's 10:30. They're walking out. Where are you? Oh, she ain't fallen asleep yet. And he can't leave the room until she does. And I'm sitting there like, bruv, this is on you because you never left the bedroom. Like, that's what I mean. And he's like, yeah, I know. I should have done. And I'm like, it's 10:30 at night and you're fucking sitting on a kid's bed waiting to fall asleep. Yeah, listen, each to their own. Like, but no, if you put the hard yards in, generally in life,
part of what he meant.
Every walk of life.
When he said we were going to suffer, I mean, and this is why. So you came in at a weird point where it was like what I was saying, because I talked about the players letting him down a bit today about some of those breakdowns in plays. I talked about that the same way you, like, I marked it down. Like when you do, I was like, ooh, there's 4 times it was on the players. And I think when he talks about, and this is why I'm at a crossroads with him, is that I think when he's saying, I got to drill the players to play a certain way because I know they can play another way. And I know this other way works better, but then he's starting to realize it doesn't. I think that's part of what he means is like, I'm drilling players to be a certain way at all times. And they just need to learn to listen to me and learn to play the way I want them to.
I agree.
I don't know if it's the right thing, but hey.
No, I get that. John here says the problem is with everyone wants to be 100% right about their opinion. We're a fan base that can be wrong. Listen, I agree with you. The one thing that I think I'm 100% right on is that this team, and we've had it for many a squad, don't work hard enough all the time. And it's, again, this is where it's always been hard for me with Amorim, because he's kind of been the first manager that I've agreed with a lot of the things that he's criticized. So when we got that good draw against Liverpool last season and the manager was angry and he just said, if we work this hard in every game, we'd win more. I do agree with him, because I think we don't like to say it as United fans, but we see it. We can see when we're working harder. We can see when we're making the tackle, when we're running the extra yard. And sometimes it isn't just defensively. You know, it's one of the things about Drogu tonight. I want to credit him so much. He got the ball, and every time he was positive. He ran at a player. He tried something. That takes hard work. It's very easy to do a Sancho and do a little shoulder drop like you're working hard and then go, I'm passing the ball to you to take responsibility, rather than I'm going to do something. I'm going to make a difference. If it fails, I'll try again and again. That is the kind of perseverance and hard work I want to see. Irrespective of whether I think you're a good football player or not, I want to see the hard work. And someone earlier said you can't compare sleep training and football are different things. Not in terms of how you apply yourself and apply things. Whether you are training a child to sleep, training or playing a football match, starting an apprenticeship as a baker, or you're a brilliant editor, an organizer of a YouTube channel behind the scenes. Someone on the panel does it very, very well. The way you apply yourself is universal. It's universal. And I often find the people that don't like the talk of hard work are often the failures in real life in one way, shape, or form. So whenever you speak on hard work, they hate it because it brings up horrible. My boss says I don't work hard. My wife left me because she said I was lazy. So when you hear it, you get a kickback. Everyone I know that rates hard work is successful. It's kind of weird, that, right? There's a correlation in there somewhere. Super chat here says he was upset because he only had 33% possession. But what do you expect with our current midfield and when Newcastle were currently a better footballing team? I think you can still criticize things. There's no doubt. I wouldn't be upset tonight as a Man United fan. I will say this as well, and I know I haven't heard much from Sam. I want to speak to Sam in a moment. Good to see you, bro. Merry Christmas. But by the way, Merry Christmas to all of you, especially US. Feliz Navidad, you ginger bastard. Man United are 5th. We are 5th on 29 points. We play Wolverhampton Wanderers at home next, and I know we're winning that game. We are winning that game. I'm so confident, right? I'm so confident. I'll bet you a pay rise, KJ, that we do it. We beat them. If you lose, if we lose, you'll get a pay rise. If we win, you get a pay cut. Which one are you going with?
Don't do that, man. Nah, I want them to lose, man. I need that money.
No, but you get my point, right? We all know we're going to win that game, and that for me is a positive tonight. There's no doubt. I mean, this sounds really weird, but we've got a +4 goal difference. I can't remember the last time we were this high in the plus. You know, and I'm going to take the positive tonight. And the really good thing is, putting everything else aside, we get to sit down this weekend now and watch football, boys, and enjoy it. We get to watch everybody else be under pressure.
I get to be a hater.
It's great. That for me is the bit I'm excited about now. I can sit down and watch all the I know they should have been played today. It's a disgrace that Boxing Day had one game in this country. Listen, I'm not the kind of person that paints flags on roundabouts, but I felt like it when they got rid of our Boxing Day games. I'm not going to lie.
Yo, every country has those people, eh?
Yeah, no, we do. We do. We have people do where I live, it was so funny. Bless them, because a lot of them, their brains are small. Like they paint on the roundabouts. They didn't have red paint. They painted in pink.
We get people with their trucks and the Canadian flags and the and you're just like, I know what you're about.
I saw man them do it on my street. I literally saw them with their ladder and the cable ties and the flags. And I was like, raw. You man are really that serious about this thing? Like my street is my street on where I live. No one goes down there unless you live there. So why are there flags? No one.
Yeah. No, it's one of them for me. I just no. As I say, so very very happy, and yeah, because it could have gone badly tonight. Ash, fuck you. I'm honestly though, I'm so bad. We're so happy we beat them. I was so nervous coming on here live for you and Kane to come here and be giving it a big one. Mama Flossie, if you're watching, commiserations to you because you're lovely. But Sam, I haven't heard much from you tonight. I'm sorry. I know I came back and been talking loads. I was gone for like 20 minutes. But what are you here to say, bro? What are you here to say, my brother?
First of all, can you lot hear me properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Lovely. Just trying out this new mic. But yeah.
Actually, it's the best you've ever sounded on the terrace. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, nah. I've got an audio mixer.
Christmas gift.
As well.
Christmas present.
I've got audio mixer now. I've got a mic, so yeah, I can do this properly. But yeah, no, I just wanted to quickly congratulate Man United, even though it hurts me to say. So I feel like with what you had, you lot did well, because you had how many guys out injured, and you managed to defend very well. Yes, Newcastle were very disappointed, but I think Man United made a lot of mistakes out of Newcastle. And yeah, if you guys can just keep on working like that, you will see better results. That's what I just quickly wanted to say, because I ain't trying to glaze you lot too much. I'm a Liverpool fan, for goodness sake.
You know, Newcastle had more injuries.
Oh, again.
No, mate, there's been such a narrative about this.
No. The difference is this. We went through this on Straight Facts. A lot of your injuries, we had Kieran, who's a first teamer, proper first teamer, Kieran Trippier,
Tino Livramento,
Nick
Pope was, so Dan Burn, Lascelles does come in and out, but I wouldn't necessarily say
Lascelles
that.
is not one of your main centre backs. So you had 3, right? Okay, so this is it. You did have 7 injuries, I think we counted, but a lot of them, 2 or 3 of the names I read, I've never heard of. We had Ahmad. I'll go on who scored.
Osula's out, bro. Like, you don't even like the guy. You want to sell him?
But I'm not about Will Osula.
We have De Ligt out. Okay, Maguire out. We have Ahmad, Maz, and Brian Mbeumo out. Bruno Fernandes missing for the game. Mainu out injured. So we had the majority of our main midfielders out. We had the majority of our main attackers out. Again, you had a few defenders, yes, but you got decent ones to come in. But we had Bruno Fernandes. But if you didn't have Bruno Guimaraes tonight, if you didn't have Voltemada, if you didn't have Murphy, if you didn't have all of those guys, I'd maybe have a bit more sympathy with you. But come on, it isn't the volume, it's the quality. We had 7 players missing, and then we lost Mount during the game. Don't be moaning about injuries to us, bruv.
I mean, I was looking at the bench. I was looking at their bench and I was thinking to myself, they need to win with the players that they have on the pitch right now. That's how surprised I was with Man United today.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't even know
exactly.
how those
Like, we had Fletcher's sons, both of them on the bench.
Exactly. So like Man United.
Malacia got on the pitch, guys. Let's take a moment to talk about Malacia got on the pitch today.
How did he see game time? I was so shocked. I thought he would just be there for bench numbers. The man saw pitch. He has now played like 10 minutes for Man United.
When I saw Malacia coming on, I'm like, it's over. Now we've lost. Like, there's like the fact that we had to bring on Malacia. I mean, we didn't have to.
Yeah, those. I didn't like any of. Again, I don't take back what I tweeted. I didn't like any of the subs tonight. What I will say is that it did work. Like, and I think this is the issue I've got. Right, none of us agree with the subs, but when it works and you go on to win, I kind of take back what I say in the sense I meant it in the moment.
You got the job done.
We got the job done. We didn't do a bad job, right? We didn't do, and for me, if Cunha plays the right pass to Drogu, I think Drogu plays it back to him. If he does the right thing and we score another goal, they would have been perfect substitutions in the sense that we didn't get worse defensively. We didn't concede loads of chances. We weren't being peppered. And by the way, I don't think any of our subs would have made us hold on to the ball better. I don't think there was a option for that. So I have to take that back a little bit. But when I saw Malacia coming on, I shouted so hard on my TV. I was like, for fuck's sake. I so wanted to win. It was a crazy sub.
Just quickly. Oh, sorry.
Go on, bro. Go on,
I was going to say quickly, on the Newcastle side, when there was a moment when I realized it's not going to be Newcastle's day, because I genuinely thought it was going to be a draw, if I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a draw. But when I saw Jacob Murphy take a very good... is it not Jacob Murphy? Jacob Ramsey, that's it. He took a very good touch inside, and then he tripped over. I was just like, yeah.
I said that earlier. Sam, I said earlier, that was, to me, their best chance. Because
exactly.
If he didn't fall, it's him versus keeper and whole next game at.
Can someone please explain to me what happened? Did someone put some black magic spell on this, bro?
Bro, that's what
happened?
Wrong, man.
Bro, he started running, his legs just turned into jelly.
You're 11th. You're 11th, and you were never going to win today. And we all had great confidence we'd beat you because you're 11th.
I mean, from that move, like, I'm actually glad that he didn't pass it to the guy that was on the left. It was actually very smart for him to cut back in.
Oh no, he did the right play.
Exactly,
did the right play.
He just tripped.
Yeah,
that is just
Lamens net. Any side, didn't matter where he kicked it.
Yeah.
Lamens was dead to rights. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a goal, and then he found. I'm like,
bro. When I first saw it, I was like, is that a foul? And then I was like, I rewatched it and I was like, bro's legs just turned into jelly. Like I didn't get it at all.
Mentality.
So something just came to my mind. You see that Anthony Taylor brother? I don't want him to ref one of our games ever again. That guy is a disgrace.
You reminded me as well, KJ. I was so hoping that we won so I could moan about it and people don't think you're bitter. I don't understand. I've been saying this for 4 or 5 games now. People can be so physical with us and nothing happens. If we breathe on them, it's a foul. There were so many things he missed tonight. That a really bad late challenge on Lissandro Martinez from a corner when things were being cleared and the foul would just let go. There were a couple of fouls, but there was one earlier in the game where we did, Ugarte did catch Bruno G's leg very slightly, but it already lost the ball. He weren't going to get to it. All these little things, but when it was done to us, we've had loads of them recently. And in 7 minutes, the time added on. 7 minutes.
7 minutes is crazy. I don't know where that came from. Drogu had his eye almost gouged out of his eye socket.
Yeah, nothing
and
given.
Didn't even get a yellow card. Also, what is going on?
It was crazy, man. It was crazy. United looked really good in the first half. With this formation, can't wait to see when we get all the players back. Yeah, listen, I agree. And look, the good thing is as well, it dispels a bit of a myth that was created by people misquoting a one line out of what Fabrizio said. We didn't turn around to Semenyo and say, we'll change it if you arrive. It's already fucking changed. We knew it was changing. Real Man United fans knew it was changing. And we saw it tonight. Most impressive win without Bruno. We are capable. Yeah, there's a little bit of that in there. I agree with Terry that if we've done that super chat there about being pathetic. Yeah, I just don't think. I just go back to what you're saying, Joe. I don't think it was pathetic. It's not the word I would use, but I respect that we see things differently, my friend. I don't know if Newcastle fans agree. Subbing Tonali was a mistake.
No, I don't agree with that. It was the second half. He was already on a yellow card, and
shit.
Tonali's an 8. Like we had 76% possession, and we're pushing. He's not exactly going to be the person who's going to be scoring the goal. So to bring someone on, he brought on Joe Willock for him, which is a bit more of an attacking midfielder. Granted, I don't really rate Joe Willock, but I don't see that a bad thing, because at the end of the day, like I said, if he ended up getting another yellow card and getting a red card, then
sorry, did you hear what Bruno, the manager, said after the game? Sky asked him a question, and he just said, "Look, back four, clean sheet. Colin Mainoo is injured. I don't need a press conference. We've covered all the subjects. So go away and enjoy Boxing Day."
You see, he's when he's allowed to do all this foolishness, because that's flipping funny.
That is funny. That is funny. Someone here said it was a penalty all day long and twice on a Sunday for Newcastle. Martinez handballed it, not even given. VAR ruining football.
I didn't realize when the ball hits your chest.
Champions League, that would have been given.
Oh, so when I first saw that, I thought it was a handball. Then I rewatched it from a different angle, and yeah, it looked like, because for me, when I first saw it, I thought it just bounced off an arm. But when I saw it from the other angle, it did look like it hit his chest and his arm. So I don't think it was a penalty.
Yeah, he didn't look like it hit his chest. Like
it hit his chest, and hit his arm.
Yeah. I don't
the whole
think
proximity rule. And look how close flipping Shaw was when he hit it. Like,
yeah. I mean, of course they were defending. They were just being arms and arms on each other. From when I first saw it, I thought it was a pen, but then when they showed a different angle, I didn't think it was a penalty at all. Yeah, no, David, this is the thing. You said I wanted a pen. That was the first time I saw it. When I saw the replay of it, I didn't think it was a penalty.
This here says, okay, so I was reading say Jamie Carrick said, it showed, first half showed United's attacking prowess, second half showed United defensive mentality. United is fifth for a reason. I can see a mentality changing. I hope you're right about the mentality, bro. But I will say this again. We are exactly 1 game away from being 50% of the way through the season. And look, we don't know how the results are going to go. I think Liverpool win their next game. I think Chelsea actually win their next game. We're probably going to, after these next two matches, probably going to be somewhere. We'll be somewhere between 4th and 7th. And that is probably above where 95% of people watching a Man United fans predicted us being. There are things to criticize. There are definitely things to still be frustrated about. There are things to go at the manager about. But this is, if you remove all that context for a moment and just have an honest conversation and go, if I said to you 18 games into the season, we'd be sitting in 5th position on 29 points, second highest goal scorers in the league. If I said you don't know anything else, you don't know no more context than that, would you have taken it? I reckon 95% of Man United fans go, boom, I take it. So I think for me, there's a balance in this. Ruben Amorim, look, he's going to change things up. There's talk of new players coming in January. The next few games are very winnable for Man United as well. And this, for me, is a really important period for him, because if you actually look at the games, I think we play... sorry, because this isn't big enough on my screen. Let me just zoom out a little bit and get all the things up here.
Burnley.
Yeah, we play Wolves, Leeds, and Burnley before playing Brighton at home in the FA Cup. And you look at that as their 3 relegation teams. I don't know who's quite going to be back and fit for these matches, but I look at it. I mean, this is the crazy bit, because we beat Newcastle. I feel like United, if there really are improvements, win those 3, and then we'll be 1 game away, and it'll be the Manchester Derby. No, he said all competitions, actually. So then we'll be 1 win away from United Strand cutting his hair.
And you've got to think, you January transfer window, you could be improving your side. So also we've got Burnley and Leeds as well coming up. So I'm hoping we can win some of these games, because God, this is looking dire. Oh.
Yeah, it's not good, looking good. Robert, hopefully that covers all your super chats. Like we definitely did one of them. What else we got here as well? Tell you at it again with being confident about Wolves. Don't know what that means, my friend, but thank you for that. Terry's just gone. Sam, how confident are you that your team will get the win against Wolves tomorrow?
Not confident at all. I still want to start out.
Really?
Yeah.
You're mad.
I was one of the first Liverpool one of the first few Liverpool fans when we got beaten by Brentford to say slot out. The Tottenham game, even though we won, reminded me that we can't keep slot at the job. So tomorrow it's more of, I don't know how we're going to win. If we win because we got better players, then let it be so. But I can't. I just don't want this guy in the job anymore. Just as
Yeah.
simple as
Yeah, it's Wolves now. It's a guaranteed W, that, isn't it?
it should be. But
I
I'm
think
not
they
confident.
actually will break the record of least Premier League points in the season.
I really don't think they will. I think they've been unlucky with some of these games.
Yeah, but to be on 2 points. Was it 2 points on right now?
Yeah, it is.
2 points in 19 games. Yeah, bro,
That is disgusting.
they need to find, was it 12 points or something like that? No, not even 12. 10. They need to find 10 points from somewhere. Where they find it?
And
Remember, it took Arsenal an own goal. Yeah, but do you know what it is, right? This is the difference, and this is where people are not fair on Arsenal. Is Wolves, same they'll do it at Old Trafford. They did it at Molineux. They're gonna attack us a bit more. They don't respect us as much. I actually don't think they're gonna respect Liverpool as much, and they'll attack a little bit more and be more open. This is the one thing that people don't like to admit about Arsenal, because it makes them feel a bit sick, is that teams don't attack them. They don't attack them. They don't attack them. And we all know it to be true. I've seen Arsenal beating some teams this season, 1-0, 20 minutes to go, and like, no, we're not attacking until the last 5 minutes. We're going to try and nick a goal. They don't attack. Man United against Wolves, they were playing out from the back. They had a high line. I was like, oh, look at that. You know, look Brentford this year. Look what Brentford did at the Etihad. Their line was on the halfway line for Haaland to run in behind on. You ain't seen that team do that at the Emirates this year. There's a difference. People don't like hearing it, but it is the fundamental truth of the matter. Gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming on. I want to apologize to the viewers for the thing crashing. The computer literally ain't turning on. So I'm going PC World in the morning. I'm going to have to buy a new one. And I'm taking this one back to the guy that sold it from a specialist shop. I'm going to fry it for his window. I've already texted him telling him I'm going to do it. I'm going to fry it for a window in the morning because it's broken. And I just don't even understand why. It just won't turn on. Fucking bastard. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Congratulations to Manchester United for winning tonight. Commiserations, Ash.
Bro, I don't know what's worse, losing to you guys like this or hearing flipping Dave in the comments talking about us getting Southgate. Like, it did. Come on, guys. Let me just have a Christmas, man.
Also,
it's beautiful, man.
Ash, you still finishing above us, yeah? You still finishing above us, yeah?
I'm not too sure on that one anymore.
Chelsea better win the next two games, you know, because I'm not halfway through the season. Man United being above them. Oh, what a Chesn. Oh, mate, painful. Listen, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you. Is this redirecting anywhere, KJ?
To Hossam or MHF, one of the two.
There we go. But go across and support my brothers, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.